Good morning everyone, it's Miss Vidoli, and what we're going to do today is we are going to play around with some patterns and some drawing. And what we're going to do is make a little garden and fill that garden with some patterns. So let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to start and what we're going to need to start with is a piece of paper, some sort of pencil or something to draw with. And then we're just going to need either markers or crayons or colored pencils, something to add color with. So I am going to begin by making the line for the ground, which is going to be about midway across my paper. And I am just making a horizontal line all the way across, and it's halfway down from the top to the bottom. One thing you do want to make sure you do is hold your paper horizontal, which means the longer sides are on the top and bottom, and the shorter sides are on the left and right. So we'll have nice, lots of room for our garden. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the stems of some of these flowers. So we're just going to go underneath the line to about halfway up after the line. Okay, so do about 3 of those. Okay. And now we're going to make our leaves for our flowers. For our flower leaves, what we're going to use is sort of a curved shape. So it's going to curve up, and then it's going to curve back down in the opposite curve. So curve out towards you, curve away from you. And you're going to do that for all 3 of them. They don't all have to be exactly the same. Curve out, curve back, curve out, curve back, curve out, curve back, curve out, curve back. Okay, so now I have my leaves for my flowers. And then up at the top, I'm going to put my actual flowers. Now there's all sorts of ways you can make flowers. I'm going to do a tulip here. So I'm going to curve and curve to make a U, and then I'm just going to do a zigzag on top of that U. For this one, I want to do a different flower, so I'm going to start with a circle, and then I'm going to put the letter U all the way around it. Okay, and then I think I'm going to do another tulip flower over here. Okay, so now I've got my 3 flowers in my garden, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide up the spaces in the sky and the spaces on the ground, because what we're going to do is we're going to fill each one of those spaces in with a different type of pattern. So I'm just going to take my pencil, and the only rules for this is you don't want to draw through any of your flowers, whether it's the top part of the flower or the leaves down here. So what that looks like is, I might just make a line here to break that up into a piece. I'm going to start making a piece here. Oh, I ran into a flower, so I'm going to pick up and pretend like my line continues and then draw it on the other side. Okay, so break this up into some spaces. It's kind of like puzzle pieces. I don't know, that looks pretty good to me. I broke mine up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces down below. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing to the sky area. So I'm just going to break the sky up. I ran into the flower, so I pick up. Okay, so now we have our outline, and now what we're going to do is we are going to start to fill in each of these spaces. What you're going to do is you're going to have to color in the whole space, and then you're going to have to add a pattern into each space. The only spaces that you don't have to add pattern to are the flowers themselves. So if you want to go ahead and color your flowers in first, go right ahead. I'm gonna do that real quick. And again, I'm using marker for this one today, but you can use marker or crayon or colored pencil. Any of those work. I'm gonna use a green for the stem. Whenever I'm coloring something in, you might notice that I do an outline first, and then after I do the outline, I color it in nice and neat. I think it helps keep ourselves staying inside the lines. Okay, once I have the flowers done, now it's time to start patterning. I just want to show you a couple different patterns. I made a little chart of patterns, and these are just a couple basic patterns. You can use any type of line and repeat it. Remember, a pattern is just anything repeated over and over again. So if you do the circle once, you do it over and over again in that whole spot. This is a checkerboard pattern. We have spirals that are just repeated. We have star shapes that are repeated. And we've got wavy lines. You can do wavy lines, zigzag, loop, mountain, castle, any type of the lines we used. You could use any type of the shapes that we have learned. Triangles, stars, hearts, squares, rectangles, ovals, rhombus, any of those. All you have to do again for a pattern is repeat it. So it happens over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, so now I'm going to start to fill in some of these with my designs. I'm going to stick to green colors for my ground because I want it to be the grass, and I'm going to stick to blues and purples for my sky. Okay. Okay, so the pattern I'm doing in here is a striped pattern. So I'm just making straight lines going across. And then I always want to fill in all the empty spots, so I'm going to use another green to be the other stripes. So the pattern here is turquoise stripe, that's this color, and then lime green stripe, which is this color. Turquoise stripe, lime green stripe, turquoise stripe, lime green stripe. This one I'm going to fill in mostly with yellow because yellow is one of the colors that we use to mix to make green. So I'm going to fill it in with yellow because I feel like it is close enough to a green color that I could use it down here. So first I'm going to fill it in with yellow, and then I'm going to take my turquoise, and I think I'm going to do some of those spirals right on top. And again, if I do it once, I have to do it over and over again, because if it's going to be a pattern, it needs to repeat. Okay. Doing wavy line for this one. And if you only have one type of green at home, what you can do is you can color in all of the ground pieces with green. Let me show you a piece like that. I'll do that one right here. You can color in all the pieces with green, and then you can use a different color like a black. So I color in the piece with green, and I'm going to color this piece in with green. So I colored them both in green, and now I'm going to take a black, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black and I am going to use it to outline. So what I'm going to do is go on top of all of my pencil lines so that I can see those different pieces. And then I can make my patterns with black on top of this. So I'm going to do stripes again here. Some polka dots. Okay. In fact, if you want to do black outline on all of this, go right ahead. Okay, and now we're just going to repeat the process for the sky again. You can outline all of these in black. And then you can go ahead and start filling in your patterns. Okay, and there we have it. We have our little springtime garden picture with full of all different patterns. And if you want to go back, you can go through and count how many patterns you've got. And don't forget to email me and share with me what you've done. Nice work.